Good morning to the viewers, and welcome to our first podcast show. My name is Nehemia Nehemia, well known as Times2, and I'm joined along by our special guest here, Mr. Fanuel Shinedima. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Can you kindly perhaps introduce yourself to our viewers?
All right. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Fanuel Shinedima. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Namibia Youth Energy Forum, and I'm also a Community Liaison Officer for Total Energies ENP Namibia, and I'm based here in Lüderitz.
Okay, that's interesting. Can you kindly tell us a little bit about your biography?
My background?
Yeah, your background and all that.
All right, thank you. So my background, I schooled in Windhoek. I did high school in Windhoek, and then I went to study business and accounting at Stellenbosch in South Africa. And then I came back, been working in Windhoek, I think for about maybe a year, until I joined Total Energies in 2024. And that was when I came to Lüderitz with a company for the operations here. So in terms of expertise on the site, as I said, I'm the founder and the CEO of the Namibia Youth Energy Forum as well, where I work mainly in the energy space. So we're talking about oil and gas, clean hydrogen and renewable energy. And the work that I do mostly involves, trying to create space for young people, for the youth to be actively involved in the sector. So trying to create different opportunities and partnerships, and also working with various stakeholders day to day. So that is what I do, and that's my background.
Amazing, amazing. So we inspired you to do what you do today.
I think I was there's a lot of people inspired me to pursue the journey that I'm on, but mostly I think it's just the passion that I have for my fellow young people. I know growing up I was always involved in various youth initiatives, and I think the first youth initiative I can remember where my passion for youth empowerment started was when I was part of the Windhoek Junior Council, and we were involved in different projects aimed at supporting young people. And that is when I really got inspired and wanted to pursue a career that involves me involved with young people, fellow young people, being an advocate of young people to take up space in different rooms and making sure that we have opportunities, we have access to opportunities, access to information, and also just making sure that our voices are heard. And that is what I continue to do till today. Even in my work at Total Energies, one of the things that I do is constantly, ensuring that we have a platform for young people, and we are also doing various initiatives that are aimed at empowering young people to have, access to the sector, access to information and opportunities and all of that.
Okay, interesting. So what challenges did you face, especially because you mentioned earlier that you were also involved in organizations and all that. What challenges were you having, more specifically, like how did your friends see you when you were joining those kind of organizations? What challenges were you having?
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to pursue such a route, especially for many young people. And also I'm also speaking from a youth perspective. I know they see it as very much boring when you involve yourself in such things. You are part of this project and all of that. Not many young people really accept that. Every young person wants to live the cool lifestyle where it's just about having to go out and chilling and all of that. And it becomes a challenge. It really requires commitment and dedication, and also a sacrifice to be able to really commit to such a goal, I can say. So challenges, it really differs, but I think that is one of the most. Not many people will really understand, especially in the early days of you trying to do something. Not many people will really, especially your fellow peers, will really understand what you're doing. They won't really buy into the idea of you starting a business or starting a project or doing something. And I think that is where it all starts. That is where you will have to prove yourself that you need to commit, and you need to ensure that you invest in, the right time, and you do the most productive things to ensure that you're able to succeed in that. Because if not, then it becomes.
Okay, great. So what did you find interesting the most, or what did you love the most, especially when it comes to joining such groups?
I think the most important thing is, when you involve yourself in such groups or youth-related projects and all of that, it gives you access to the right network and the right people. You never know who's in the room. And also gives you access to mentors, for example. There will always be someone watching from a distance, hearing about what you do, and they will always have an interest to support you and to back you and to always, make sure that you have access to the right information and everything that you need. So it's very, very much important that, you're able to be in such spaces, in such rooms where there are many, many different people, because that is where you get to, sell your story, sell give your message, and that is where you get whatever resources that you need. And I also speak on that, reflecting on 2023 when I founded the Namibia Youth Energy Forum. I was the sole founder, and it was merely just a concept or idea that I had. And being part of such initiatives and events gave me exposure, and there were always people that heard about what I wanted to do. And 3 years later, the organization has grown. Now we have operations, for example, in Walvis Bay. We have a branch here in Lüderitz, as well as our head office in Windhoek. We've grown to a team of more than 20 and thousands of members across the country. And we've built quite a lot of strong partnerships with various companies in the industry, with government support and all of that. And that all comes, from being in spaces such as this, from being amongst different people who can support you, because you never know who's going to hear your story or who's going to be interested in your vision and all of that. So it's very, very much important to do that.
Okay, great. So you mentioned earlier that you are the co-founder of the organization. So what challenges were you facing at the beginning when establishing this organization, and what support did you get, maybe from the government and private companies?
Yeah, I must say that, and I think this is for especially young people, that are trying to do stuff out there, starting projects, starting a business, or just starting any organization. The biggest and most important challenge is always resources, access to finance, access to startup capital, access to whatever funding it is. That is what we also had a challenge. But I later on realized that, then the advice that I always give fellow young people as well is that, you don't need a lot to start. You just need to have a solid idea, and you need to give it out there, and you need to push for that. That is the first thing that you need to do. Everything else will come along the way. So if I can maybe just explain a little bit about what we do again at the Namibia Youth Energy Forum. It's an NGO, it's an organization that we've started, and we do various projects across the country. We collaborate with different partners. We do events. We have projects where we try to empower and to raise awareness in the energy space, in the energy sector, to ensure that young people have access to opportunities, for first of all, and information. And starting earlier on to do that, it required a lot of resources, for example, just to make sure that you're able to bring young people in a room and all of that. And that was the biggest challenge. But through that, I was able to build a team, and we were able to engage various stakeholders. We've got quite a lot of companies that sponsor us still today. We've got the support of the Office of the Presidency, for example. We've got advisory board, and we've got quite a lot of organizations that we do different projects with. So we've grown over the years just through engaging our stakeholders and making sure that we commit to the goal and we deliver up to the mission that we started with.
Okay, great. So what activities do you guys offer at your organization that ensures that the youth, young people also feel included in your organization?
Just to speak on what we do, on the 20th of June, we have another engagement coming up again. I think it has been out. We are hosting a youth oil and gas open day that's going to happen in Lüderitz. And what is going to happen, what we expect to see is we want to create a space where we invite the young people in Lüderitz, the communities, the parents, the stakeholders, the entrepreneurs, and everyone. And we want to bring these young people in space, and we are inviting the rest of the stakeholders as well. So this is the industry, the different companies, the service providers, the banking institutions, and all of that. And we want them to share information about what is happening in the oil and gas industry. For those that follow the news closely, I know we understand, and it is proven there is oil and gas that discovered in Namibia. And Lüderitz is the nearest town to where all of these operations are happening. And soon, in coming months, we are going to hear about what is called an FID, Final Investment Decision. What that means is that, we are going to be, hopefully, be an oil-producing nation. And what that means for Lüderitz as a logistics base is that there is going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to come in. Some of the changes you can already tell in town. There's different companies coming in. There's developments all over. And that is all interlinked to the oil and gas operations that are happening. And Lüderitz has been earmarked as a logistics base to support all those operations. For us at the Namibia Youth Energy Forum, we want to ensure that the Lüderitz youth here have access to the information about what is coming, so that you are the first to benefit from whatever needs to happen. Be it job opportunities, that means you need to understand what the industry is going to demand. What points do you need? What course do you need to study? What certification do you need? Where can you get funding for whatever training you need? So we want to ensure that the entire Lüderitz community, particularly the youth, have access to that information. The second is the businesses, the local businesses, the entrepreneurs, to also understand what the industry is going to demand, because there will be a demand for a lot of services. It's not just about, anything that has to do with offshore. There's going to be a demand of so many things, and there's so many opportunities that will be happening. And part of our mission is to ensure that the Lüderitz community and the Lüderitz youth and the local entrepreneurs have access to that information. You meet the people who are at the forefront of these operations. You discuss with the people that are supporting the sector, so you understand how to position yourself, because we want to ensure that the community benefits from all of this. And through that, so that is our mission. Those are some of the things, or some of the projects that we are trying to run here in Lüderitz. We have that initiative coming up on the 20th of June. What we also work on, we have an employability database. So we try to collect the different CVs of the youth here in Lüderitz. And we work with few service companies, especially here in Lüderitz. We provide them with that information. So whenever they need to recruit or give out any opportunities and internships, they are able to do that. Last year, we also had training. It was an offshore training. We collaborated with a company called Atlas Next Wave from Europe. And we collaborated them. We provided training, I think, to 30 youth from here in Lüderitz. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the room that was part of that training, but we did that end of last year. We also did the same training in Windhoek as well as Walvis Bay. And what it provided was a certification program for young people that are interested in working for the sector offshore. And what is going to come up next is, of course, practical training, which is also something that we do in the process. So those are a few of the things that we do, but there's also quite a lot of other initiatives and projects that we have planned ahead.
Okay, interesting. Apart from internships that you mentioned earlier on, do you or the company Total Energy offer some scholarships to students who are willing and so eager or interested in being part of the falling part in the energy sector?
For Total Energies, there is a collaboration with NIMT in Keetmanshoop. There's some funding that was provided at the institute in Keetmanshoop that takes in, I can't really confirm the exact number of students, but it's more than 10 that are funded to study there. The second one is Total Energies does not at the moment directly fund individual students. They contribute to what we call Petro Fund. So there's an organization established by the government that receives contributions from different energy companies. And the mandate of Petro Fund is to give out scholarships to to various students that would want to pursue studies in STEM-related fields, if I'm not mistaken, both at local institutions as well as institutions across the world in SADC. The only recent scholarships that came out were for master's students that were sponsored directly by Total Energies to go study, I think, masters, to pursue the masters in France. But at the moment, we do not directly give out individual scholarships.
Okay. So what careers do you think are so demanding when it comes to energy, to the energy sector?
Yeah, like I've mentioned before, the industry is quite broad, and you have two different sectors that not sectors, but yeah, subsectors. There is offshore sector. With offshore, that means it's people that are going to work on the oil rigs and on the vessels and all of that. So those are the ones that are directly working at the location. So there's quite a lot of positions there. There's a lot of different positions. I cannot pinpoint to one. There's quite a lot of positions available for that. Maybe few, you have people working on the vessels. You have got people, admin related roles, you've got technical roles, people involved in drilling, cleaning and all of that, but that is the offshore aspect. And then onshore, it depends. You've got logistics bases, we've got offices, so where you operate from. You have admins, you have accountants, you have logistics and procurement people. So it's quite vast. There's quite a lot of opportunities that the industry has to offer.
Okay, great. So are there perhaps jobs in the market that doesn't really requires qualifications for the people, let me say for the people here in Lüderitz, not to feel left out, those ones that didn't perhaps complete their grade 11s onwards. So are there perhaps any jobs that doesn't really require those kind of qualifications?
Yes, there are jobs, but it just depends on the level of skills required for that specific job. For example, you cannot have a technical job that requires an engineering degree if you don't have one, but there are jobs where they will just tell you that, okay, we have an open role for an admin assistant or logistics support or someone to do what, minimum grade 10, minimum grade 11 or minimum grade 12. So there are also those kinds of jobs. And what I've explained also is that this industry is very, very big. And it is supported by many different companies. These various companies in town that are all indirectly and directly supporting the sector. And all these companies also have their own ways of doing things. That's why you have, if you move around town, you are seeing different companies setting up warehouses. You have different logistics bases and offices that are all directly linked, and they all have different positions and opportunities to offer. So it's quite broad.
Okay, great. So which year are you or Total Energy is planning to officially start drilling the oil from the sea?
Okay, yeah. Before I explain to that point, let me just maybe explain how the whole industry works. So Total Energies came in Namibia in 2022, and what they started off was they acquired a license to do exploration on a block. It's I think 300 kilometers from Lüderitz, there in the ocean. So they acquired the license to do some studies to explore if there was oil. So they did studies and then discovered that there's a possibility of that area containing oil. And then what followed was what we call an exploration phase. And what they did was they used an oil rig. Is this a special platform that is used to drill? And they drilled the first wells since 2022. And the purpose of that was just to understand the kind of oil there, the quality, the volume, and all of that. And upon drilling, there was a successful indication of the area containing oil. But that differs. There are instances where you can discover oil and you drill, but then you realize that it's not commercially viable. That means that oil is there, but it's not enough to invest for you to start taking out and resell. So they moved on to the next phase, which is known as an appraisal phase, and that was when they just wanted to do now the studies of understanding, how much oil is there, how long will it take for us to, extract, and also what kind of installations do we need to do to ensure that we are able to do all of that. And that's now where we are, but we are done with the appraisal phase. And the next phase now is to announce that, okay, we have discovered the oil. It's located 300 kilometers south of Lüderitz in the Atlantic Ocean. We estimate that the oil will take us up to 30 years to extract and sell. And it will require us to install what kind of platform, the infrastructure and all of that. That has all been done. And what we are now awaiting is what I call an FID, which is a final investment decision. That is now when Total will say that, okay, we've done all the studies, now we are ready. And that FID is not yet confirmed, but possibly July we should be receiving that. And that is now when the operations are going to be commencing. And I think the next phase will be a construction phase. Construction phase is where you will now have to start installing all the equipment that you need on the seabed. You start drilling all the production wells that you will need and installing all the special equipment that you are going to need. And that is going to take between 5 to 10 years. And then from there, it will now be continuous production, which is expected to last for up to 25, maybe to 30 years until the oil is done.
Okay, that's so great. So while we are still there, can you kindly just perhaps tell us where Total Energy is based from?
Total Energies is a global company, but its headquarters is in France. So it's a French company, but it's a global company that operates across more than 100 countries across the world. So specialized in oil and gas, renewable energy, electricity generation, and all of that.
Okay, great. So what misunderstanding do you think the youth has about this energy sector?
Misunderstanding about the energy sector, I think that there isn't really misunderstanding. I think it's just a lack of awareness and lack of access to the right information, because I know not many people really understand about this industry in Namibia, because this is the first for Namibia. And I think it's not really misunderstanding, it's just lack of access to information about what the sector is, what it entails, and all of that.
Okay. So as you said that there is still some suspensions, or you guys are still working on making sure that the oil are enough and they are going to last for a long time. What do you think the youth has to do to make sure that they prepare for this kind of chances, or to fall part of this sector?
Yeah, I think the most important one is to number one, if you are still in school, you need to make sure that you pass in order to get the required minimum points for you to go pursue whatever career you need. And the second one is to make sure that you are able to get whatever certification you need, whatever training you need. There is, different routes available. You just need to make sure that you have something to reflect back on. Don't just stay in the town and wait for the developments to come. You must already start pursuing whatever you need to pursue. You need to research and understand what career you want to pursue. If you want to go work on the oil, you research, what positions are available there and what does one need. You need to do this certification and this, and then you need to ensure that you pursue and go for that. To upskill is the most important. You need to get the right skills for the right opportunities that you want. And the second thing I think is to put yourself out there. Talk to the right people. That is why we always arrange initiatives like this, where we try to invite, the people that are the ones at the forefront. Talk to them, tell them about what you need, tell them about your interest, tell them about, what you want to learn, and knock on their doors and ask for opportunities. Even if it's just a simple internship, or for you to, to visit and just see what is happening. Don't stay at home waiting. You need to constantly knock on people's doors. And the third most important, I think, is to always attend platforms like this. these youth-related platforms, you need to make sure that you are present there and you engage the people and you hear about what is happening and continue learning.
Okay, great. So what advantages does this sector has on the Namibian economy?
There's quite a lot of advantages. I think number one is definitely on addressing the high unemployment in Namibia. I think there is a possibility and a potential for it to create quite a lot of job opportunities, especially for young people. And I think also just for local enterprises, local businesses to also access business opportunities. I think there's a lot of opportunities for that, and that can definitely contribute to our GDP and the economy. Because I mean, if you look at the investment required to invest in just developing one field is close to Namibia's GDP, I think. So it's almost similar amount. So that tells you that if we go ahead, we would be receiving an investment into this project that is the same as our already existing GDP. So that means there's a lot of job opportunities, there's a lot of opportunities for local businesses, there is a lot of investment in community, in corporate social responsibility, support to different initiatives in the community that can contribute to development. So those are some of the big advantages we're looking at.
So what advice would you give to people, to the viewers out there that are so interested in falling part of this sector, which are interested in becoming or forming part of also energy sectors?
I think to the viewers and everyone in the room is that the sector is not limited to anybody. It's not closed off for certain people. It's there and the opportunities are endless. The most important thing that one needs to do is for you to be part of something, you need to understand first. You need to understand what is happening, what is oil and gas, how does it work, what is expected and all of that. Once you understand all of that information, it will make it very much more easier for you to actually see where you would want to fall in. Do you aspire to work offshore in the oil rigs? Do you want to work on the vessels? Or do you want to work for the logistics side of things or admin and all of that? You need to understand first the entire value chain. And I think that is also similar for those that want to become contractors, entrepreneurs, business owners. There is going to be a demand for so many services, for so many different opportunities. And the information is available. You can search it anywhere. That gives you that. So you also just need to understand about that and knowing where you want to fall. So for example, just a simple case scenarios for Lüderitz, there will be a demand for different services. There will be a demand for cleaning and laundry services, demand for catering services, there will be a demand for accommodation services, there will be a demand for transport, logistics services, there will be a demand for welders and those people that do fabrications and all of those. And these are all opportunities that are out there and that we are likely to see a demand once the project moves ahead. So it's quite a lot. There's different opportunities there. You just need to research and understand and see how you can position yourself in the industry.
Okay, that's so interesting. But unfortunately, time is not on our side, so time doesn't allow us to know much from you today. But one last thing, can you kindly tell our viewers the last message, any last message that you can tell our viewers out there?
Yeah, last message, think to Lüderitz youth and the community. There is quite a lot that is coming to town. There's a lot of things happening in town. You have green hydrogen projects in the pipeline. You have oil and gas coming through, and so many other things coming. My advice is just that, as locals and as the youth, we need to ensure that whatever comes in town, we are part of it and we are, the first to be part of that. So, get up, just do what you need to do to ensure that you are part of all of these big programs and projects coming up. Don't just be at home waiting. Do something. Reach out to the people. If you know someone that is somewhere and has access to certain information that you might need, reach out to them and ask them for opportunities. Ask them what you need to do in order to get there and ensure that you are part of it. So let's not be ignorant to the news. Let's not be ignorant to every information. I know we do see the updates. We see everything happening. So let's not scroll past. Let's look at it and let's inquire. Let's get the information and understand what we need to do. And for those that are still in school, continue. Please make sure that you finish, you get the right grades. If you are you still have an opportunity to upskill yourself, and you have an opportunity, go back to school, get the certification you need, get the training, and be part of all these platforms always. It will mean a lot, and it will ensure that you are involved in all of this.
Okay, great. That was so interesting. So, thank you so much, sir. It was really a pleasure having you with us today. And yes, we are still hoping to hear much from you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, and to the viewers, thank you for watching. And yes, we are still hoping to see you guys in our next episode, which we are yet to decide where it's going to be hosted. Thank you so much.
All right.